Hey, world, it's being willing to come back live for part two on this Memorial Day. If you didn't get a chance to check me out live earlier today, we uh we got into some things. I would like to elaborate a little bit more on the things we talked about earlier on part one, and definitely like you guys to join the discussion and leave comments and digest this food for thought. Thank you for joining me in the garden. First of all, I just want to say for those out there who have loved ones that have transitioned due to military conflicts and their responsibilities in the armed services. May the Most High side, bring joy. Okay. Um, and like I said, just to clarify once again, okay, today is basically a day for those who we lost. I shouldn't say lost, who transitioned due to a responsibility that I'm telling you that to me personally, wow, and just to be so close to it, like I said, because my sister served, she's an army, and she actually was over in Desert Storm, in Kuwait, and so she came back, and of course, she had her issues, but you know, I still feel that she's undercompensated for the service that she gave the United States, and just on that. Uh, it's quite interesting. I came across some things on the wire today, and if you was watching the television today and uh, seeing what they were talking about, because remember we talked about these fake actors, and real actors, and of course the fake actors on the TV today. What were they talking about? 11 people died so far this year since December. Died from climbing or attempting to climb Mount Everest. Okay, what? Okay. She was in the house tonight. Okay, wow, yeah, I did, brother. You know what I mean? I'm straight now with the camera now. DG, what's up? What's up? All right, guys. Let me get this music down a little bit, family. Yeah, like I was saying, family, we got into some discussion today, and I hope I didn't offend anybody. Like I say, those that are religious and are Christians, just make sure that you know you use your own judgment on things. You know what I mean? The book that was written by man, so let's make sure that you use your own judgment. Like I say, the stories that was on the television today, guys, they had a story about Mount Everest. 11 people died trying to climb Mount Everest. 11 people died. 90% of the people die coming down. Right? That's the story. Right? El Chapo, they scared he may escape, so they don't want him to be having outside privileges. That's news, huh? And then lastly, they had 26 horses die. 26 professional horses die this year. That's the news, right? That's the news. No concern about the number of kids that are starving in America. And what tripped me out was that to know that 48.8 million people in America right now are, in a situation where they're in an insecure food situation. And that's how they say insecure food situation, but that's poverty, man. And for us to be able to know that number, 48.8 million people, 16 million children, and that's why on the television they tell you 1 out of 5 children go hungry every night. How do we do this? And how do we, put this on the television as like to pull our love string, our heartstrings, and know that we pay taxes every year? And even those that are in a poverty-stricken environment pay taxes. For the kids to be hungry, and this is the stuff that's on the news? No, not feeling that, family. Yeah, Deborah, that's it's just crazy. I mean, and if you didn't catch my live the other day when I talked about how Congress, because remember, we have to understand, family, when Congress is talking about doing stuff for the American people, but then at the same time, we know that 1 out of 5 kids are hungry. 16 million children are hungry in America, 48.8 million families. 20 million of those families are documented and recorded as living in poverty. You did? And so for us to experience the situation where they close the federal government and have food stamps cut, reduce, housing reduce. And so what is the perception? Oh man, they ain't working, you know. We have to pay their lifestyle, and it's always a negative connotation when you think about it. When they shut the federal government down, and when they cut food stamps, and when they cut housing, all right, cut Medicaid, cut public services for those who need it. Remember, people that don't need it don't have it. Okay, and so when you know there are 16 million kids hungry, right? 48 million people hungry, right? And they cut food stamps, and they cut housing. Where is the outrage on that? Where's the outrage? Because Congress isn't doing anything unilaterally. Okay, just a quick history class, family. There's 3 branches of government. You have the executive branch, which is Trump, legislative branch, which is Congress rather, and the judicial branch, which is the judges. All right. Now, it takes 2 for things to happen, 2 out of 3. So if they shut down the government, if they cutting food stamps, if the public is being, put in situations like this, that's the whole government. And who are they? The real actors. Let's get into this. Thank you, Deborah. Daughter of the Most High, thank you so much. KY, I see you. Like you paid back. Exactly. Great point. How we paying taxes, Medicare taxes, FICA, and you get medical bills, medical bills. And what's so crazy about it on the medical bills tip? You have insurance, health insurance. How is it that we as individuals say, okay, well, my insurance paying 80% or my insurance paying 90%? Man, you're supposed to get all of that, right? Because these insurance companies that are attached to the banks, they get bailed out every year. Okay, so it's pay yourself first, family. Pay yourself first, because this is going to be crazy here pretty soon. And the reason why I say that is because I wanted to get into the tariff situation. And the reason why I say pay yourself first, because the Huawei, that big phone company, a Chinese phone company that relies on United States semiconductor chips and software, they buy most of it, okay? And this company is like the number 2 smartphone producer in the world, all right? I mean, they up there, I think they passed Apple, okay? And so when Trump is saying, no, we're having a tariff with China, and China actually is the number 2 producer of smartphones in the world, and for them to produce those smartphones, they depend on Intel, they depend on United States semiconductor companies that produce those chips and software. Well, if there's a tariff and Trump said, well, we're going to tax them for doing it, all China did was, okay, fine, we just won't buy from y'all, we'll buy from somewhere else. Now, all those companies that produce those semiconductor chips that's on the NASDAQ will fold, right? And how do I know that? I was doing a little research today, and I'm telling you, it's just like, it's the script. It's the script. And I wish I'd have been on this back in 1987, because family, I was unconscious for like 3 crashes: 1987, 2000, 99, 2000, and 2008. Right? Won't miss this one. Okay. And what's the beautiful thing about it, guys? There are 29 companies, 29 major companies in the United States. See, this wasn't on the television. They talking about people that died trying to climb Mount Everest. Do y'all know anybody trying to climb Mount Everest? Okay, because remember, once you get up to a certain level, there's something called oxygen deprivation. Who goes somewhere when you know you get to a certain level, you may die? That's news. But it's not news that 29 major companies in the United States are going to what they call an earnings call. See, family, when these companies that's on the market, okay, that's trading publicly, who are they responsible to? They're responsible to the shareholders, those who are making sure their company stays afloat. So every time there's what they call an earnings call, guess who's listening? Shareholders. There's been 29 companies that having to tell the shareholders that due to this tariff, we may not meet earnings. As a shareholder, what you gonna do when you hear that information? You're gonna go sell your shares, and then the market is gonna crash. And that's all it's about. See, don't think that the market is this organism by itself. All it is people buying and selling. That's it. Okay. And those that's in the know, you looking to get wealthy based on assets, not just buying and selling. You did? And so when you know this type of information, when you know that Walmart, Target, Macy's, and these are one of the three major ones that are the retail stores, prices are going to be going up. And why? Trump finna go ahead and put a $325 billion tariff on starting next week. And so your price is going to go up, right? And so when these prices go up, these are companies are not going to meet their earnings. And what that means is people are going to start selling their shares of stock, and the market is going to go down. So make sure you stay on top of the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and S&P 500. Look at those numbers, all right? Look at those numbers, because when it starts getting down lower and lower, like say the Dow is like 26, 25,000 points. When you look up and it's like at 22, 21, 20, that's time to start looking at, start being conscious and getting your money right, all right? Because it's not that these companies go broke. That's a misconception. It's that the shareholders start selling the shares of stock, okay? Just because the market crashed, Walmart's still going to be open. Nike's still going to be selling shoes. You did? So understand that, and don't be like the average person. Like the average person is going to lose a lot of money because they're going to be scared. All right. See, if you're young, you can afford to weather these type of storms. But if you're conscious and financially literate, you'll know when to get in, when to get out, when to allocate and diversify your funds. Okay. Let's get into this. What's going on out there, family? Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to talk about what we talked about earlier today? Because I know I had a blast talking about it. All right. I thought also what was interesting. There's this judge, this Utah judge. Okay. Now think about this. Apple, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're all in cahoots because they're all government ran. In a minute, guys like myself and people that are trying to spit knowledge and spread truth, we're going to start getting censored. It's not an accident that Farrakhan and this cat up by the name of Alex Jones got kicked off. And the mindset is if they kick them off, they'll kick anybody off. All right? Slave ship found in Alabama, huh, D? Slave ship found in Alabama. I like to see that manifest. You did? Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of the stuff that we think is real history is not. I mean, you're trying to tell me that, if you look at what was going on in Europe, okay, and how they lived. Look at the movies, Braveheart, all these movies. Look how they lived. You're trying to tell me that the same people that come over to America in the 1600s, all of a sudden had this intellectual capability to build what we have now? No. Intellectual properties have been stolen for decades, for centuries. And there's nothing you can tell me that there's one group of people that created all this stuff. And I say that to get back into what I'm talking about Huawei, the Chinese company. United States have been accusing China of intellectually property stealing, like we're stealing their intellectual property, and they're going back to China and making stuff based off of China stealing intellectual property. Let's think about that for a minute. To believe that is to assume that everything that was created by Europeans. You dig? Now, anyone that's going to be stealing intellectual property are going to be individuals who come up with the patent system, come up with the law of patents. Because if you don't know that there are so many individuals that created so much here and lost their intellectual property because of the patent situation, China not tripping on that. I mean, look at who's always valedictorians. Look at who's always winning the spelling bee. Look at who always at the top of the class over here in America. Okay? A lot of them is Asians, Asian Americans, right? And so to just assume that they come in here and just stealing intellectual property and taking it back to China, I mean, China, they don't even buy stuff from us. You know, we make stuff and they buy it. You know, we make stuff, right? But they use our stuff to make stuff to send it back over here. The United States not really producing anything that China buys. Only thing the United States does for China is provide parts to create the finished product, and then China sends it back over and sells it. I mean, it's kind of ludicrous to assume that this tariff is an issue about China stealing intellectual properties and having an unfair trade agreement with America. When you look at Japan got what, a $58 billion trade deficit with America, and Trump was just in Japan recently. See, that's why when I told you in the last video, if you look at the number of cars that's on the street, Hondas, Toyotas, you know, Nissans, those are all Japanese cars. Okay. Yeah, banks getting inside information. Yeah, of course, because it's a Ponzi scheme. General Electric, okay. And don't forget, guys, General Electric used to be an American company. General Electric is actually Chinese owned. Okay, sunk. Okay. Yeah. Nephew, I see you. Yeah, so it's like when you look at this whole tariff thing, that's what I'm saying. Just pay yourself first, family, and get yourself in a situation and don't lose your money. Like I said, if you got 401ks, make sure you start finding out what your mutual funds are in. I mean, you know, it's going to be a pretty bad situation here pretty soon. And I feel bad for a lot of people, but, you know, family in the garden, guys, if you pay yourself first, and if you make sure that you look into those online banks to place your money in where you get 2% or more. Remember, Wells Fargo and Chase, they only give you 0.03%, 0.01%, pennies on your dollar. Okay. And also look into if you're not with credit unions, look into credit unions, because see, credit unions, they're safer than banks. They give you a little bit more options for all this interest, but at the same time, you know, it's not 2%. All right. And if they charging you for ATM usage, you know, that's not cool either. You did. So let's kind of get out of this mode. And all it is just tradition. You know, we feel like we have to go to the brick and mortar bank. You know, well, I don't want to lose my money. I don't want to know. Wells Fargo and Chase and Bank of America have been stealing your money forever. We bail them out every year. All right. So you got to change your mind, change your frame of thinking, and start using other assets, using other resources rather to put your money in. All right. And start looking into like say Fidelity and Ally and Charles Schwab, these different brokerage firms, because they have cash management accounts as well as brokerage accounts. Okay. Put your money in different areas. You don't want to have all your money in one spot. Okay. Even part, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? People talk about China and its debt. See, like I told you in the past video about U.S. Treasury bonds, the U.S. Treasury notes. Guys, the United States, and all it basically is the United States say, okay, we have $80 billion in bills we need to pay. I tell you what, we're going to put that out there for the world to, as a loan. Because that's basically all you're doing is loaning the United States money. And who loans the United States the most money? China. See how this doesn't make sense? Who owns the most U.S. treasuries? China. Okay? And so what they can cash it in at any time. Right? So it's like, we just got to, understand what's real news and what's fake news. Okay? If it's coming from the real actors, the politicians, pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. Not to the stuff that doesn't affect you every day. All right? But the stuff that can affect you every day. Pay attention to that. And please get out of Hollywood. Those fake actors, if you're not buying anything, they don't want to deal with you anyway. Okay? Yeah, there are lots of parts are outsourced nowadays. Everything is. I mean, like I said, because the United States don't make anything. You have to have an infrastructure to make things, and that's why, if you notice, this whole notion of cannabis being legal, hemp being legal, because that's the only thing that they can actually be able to, plus oil. All right. See, this notion that we're running out of oil, that oil is limited, that's crap. Oil is the second fluid of Mother Nature. You got the most important fluid is water, and the second is oil. It ain't going nowhere. So this notion that oil is running out, no, you got to realize automobiles can be ran on water, electricity. We have electric vehicles already about to come out, right? Because the jig is up. All right. And so what the United States want to do, they want to get ahead of the curve in the electric vehicle game, right? So they can just start selling oil to the masses, because all these cars that are running on fuel, they're just going to take them overseas, just like they got McDonald's and Domino's and Burger King. They're just going to try to westernize overseas. And it amazes me how people around the world that the United States, that they conquer, those people over there don't have a choice. So it trips me out that people think, man, why are they trying to get Americanized? They're not trying to get Americanized. This is forced on them. Just like when you go down Highway 6 in H-Town, you have 30 fast food restaurants. Man, that's forced on you. Okay? Or it's natural blood, no doubt, D. No doubt. And like I said, this whole notion of money, like I told you before, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as money. Money is energy. Okay? That's money, energy. And so as long as people look at money as like something tangible, then they're gonna keep chasing it. See, like it's even in the Bible, it said the root of all evil is the love of money. Because it's not money, because the money don't exist. It's the love of money, and that's why you have to change your mindset. Because once you get on a certain frequency, okay, and once your energy is vibrating on a certain frequency, you understand that money isn't nothing tangible. It's your energy, and whatever it is that you want to get, you manifest it. And so just like with your job, if you're looking at your job as, man, I got to go to work so I can pay bills, that's the wrong mindset. Okay. Every day should be a day that you go to work and be, damn, it should be a day that, okay, another day toward my goal. Okay. Another day toward my goal. And so set those goals. You know what I'm saying? When you're paying yourself first, set goals. That's the only way that you can really stay disciplined on something like this. Because remember, this is going to be like a $21 trillion wealth transfer. Remember, when 10% of the population, controls 80 or 70% of the wealth, that means that's a lot of people out there struggling. Okay. And so, but that doesn't mean you have to. They for the minimum wage, they for them push minimum wage to $15 an hour. Okay. Now, come on, man, you got your little gig, that can work. But you have to set your goals. You have to get this financial education. Okay. You got to change the mindset of being a consumer. This stuff don't mean nothing. All right. This stuff don't mean anything. You want to build wealth with your health, so later down the road, your children's children not struggling. And the biggest wealth that you can give your children is this financial education. Not just breaking them off change, but teaching your kids about the importance of paying themselves first. All right. I don't know if you see back there in the corner back there. I have it's like a little bowl, a jug back there on the thing right there. Well, let me see. I see my finger pointing to it. Let me see right there. It's full of coins. Okay, quarters, nickels, and dimes. Right. And I'm filling that up all the way to the top. Actually, it's already full. I give it to my oldest son tomorrow. Right. And I asked him today, you know what I'm saying? I asked him, I said, hey, man, you know, Daddy, you know, we go and take the change and convert it over, you know, how much you going to pay yourself? He said, Dad, I'll pay myself 50%. I said, cool. Okay. So he's already, you know, you got to teach them early about paying themselves first. Right. Because if you do that, then you're on a path to building wealth and you're on a path to security. Remember, 78% of people don't have $1,000. You know, that's bad. Okay. And so look into IRAs, in individual retirement accounts, right? Look into CDs. You know, don't just put your money in a savings account. If you got $500, $1,000, you know what I'm saying? Throw it in a CD. You know, put it in a money market. You let that money make money. All right. And like I say, the investment that get the highest return every year are stocks. Okay. Dividend stocks. So look into dividend stocks, index funds, and mutual funds. The reason why, because more people invest in the stocks. And where's most of the liquidity? Where's most of the money in America? In Wall Street. You did? And you want to be a part of that. And so you're just doing a little research, man. I'm telling you, you can take your wealth and your financial situation to a whole new level. And like I said, it's not about love and money. It's about just putting yourself in a situation where, you know, you're comfortable enough where you can give back. Okay. And how do you give back? By giving other people the same information, teaching them about the same things that you're learning about. You dig? Okay. And remember, the best person that can invest in you is you. The best person that can handle your money is you. You dig? So, family, before I get up out of here, I would like to just readdress that situation we talked about in part one today, and we were talking about the notion of whether or not the Bible is people perceive that in a secular history, or is it perceived literally, or is it perceived psychologically? What is it? All right. Me personally, you know, it's the greatest book ever written in my eyes. And like I say, for something to be written like that, it had to come with a thought first. Okay. In order for a thought to be created, it had to be imagined. And so something that powerful, a book that powerful, you know, had to come from above, meaning inside, above meaning here. All right. And whoever wrote those books had to be inspired by the Most High. You can't put it no other way, you know. And so this inspiration, you know, we have to understand that it's something that was, you know, given to us long time ago. Okay, we need to go back all the way back, especially Afro-melanated people. We need to go all the way back and understand that, you know, as far as Christianity and as far as religion, you know, that's cool if that works for you, but you need to make sure that that comes from within first and then outward. You know, you shouldn't have to have someone, you know, interpret something that's already inside of you. I mean, you know, it says, you know, love thy neighbor, love like you love thyself. That's already inside of us. That's something that, you know, an empathic ability that we all have that's in the Bible. And so that person who came up with that line, right? That's from above, man. It was right here. All right. Thou shalt not kill. All that stuff is stuff that is psychological, right? But we want to take some of it literal and some of it not literal. And I don't think that's cool. You know, we got to think, if you're going to believe in Adam and Eve and believe that a snake was talking to her, then you also have to believe in Leviticus as well, right? And so there's so many, I think the real actors, the pastors, a lot of the pastors, a lot of televangelists, I think they steer a lot of the people wrong. There's still a lot of people in the wrong direction because like, they know that we are spiritual beings and that we're looking and seeking for truth. But what we don't understand is it's already inside of us. And see, that love that everyone's seeking, you're not going to get that love until you love yourself first. I mean, until you actually can love yourself first, you can't love anyone else. Not abundantly. You can love someone functionally. Okay? And that's two different types of love. You have abundant love and you have functional love. Abundant love is when you love someone intrinsically for them being the type of person they are, and that's just what's inside of you. Functional love is they got to do something for you to love them. And that ain't, and that's not something that comes from within. Okay? That's something that you learn. That's a learned behavior because the Most High created perfection. And the Most High is inside of all of us. All right. So yeah, if I just want to get your opinion on that. All right. Yeah, that's right, KY. If you don't invest in yourself, no one else will. All right. And so, family, if you have 401ks, pension plans, stay on top of that. Don't just let that ride. Don't just contribute, and not ever look in your statement and find out what's going on. Because I promise you, I'm not Nostradamus, but this is a cyclical, capitalistic economy. It has to run on. It can't run no other way. Okay. When the Federal Reserve can manipulate the market like that, it has to be that way. That's how it goes. And so if you want to be a part of a wealth transfer, you just have to learn this stuff. It's so easy. It just, what's more important? Watching cats on Hollywood and actors that are lying to you every day? No, the only actors you should be paying attention to are the real actors that's telling you about 6 months of maternity leave, right? But then you have to pay it back. See, you need to pay attention to that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of the family out there, you guys vote, just understand that these people are already selected. It's not an accident that no politician in office ever do what they say they're going to do. I mean, come on. So you have to take control of all of this. You got to take control of yourself socially, politically, and financially. And what I mean by politically, doing for other people. Because what are politicians supposed to do? They're supposed to serve others, right? Supposed to serve the public. Well, you being political is giving 10% of yourself to others. Okay? Oh, no, hey, look here. But if you ask anybody about Leviticus, okay, they don't want to talk about that. Because there are certain communities out here that have certain agendas that just pass right up Leviticus. And I don't want to, I'm just saying, and those that are biblically literate know what I'm talking about. Okay? You can't pass up certain books to fit your agenda. Okay? Because now you're not being genuine. Okay? And so I think the Bible is like I said, the greatest book ever written. And I think also we need to delve within ourselves to gain an understanding of the Bible, because you can't gain the understanding from someone else. All right? You got to get that own understanding yourself. And then, and only then, you'll be able to identify what's real and what's not. You'll be able to identify those narcissists that's coming into your life. All right? Those covert narcissists. Because, see, those overt narcissists, we know those. What did it say, D? Who was that? Oh, Darryl told you who those was earlier. Donald Trump. All right? That's an overt narcissist. But the covert narcissists are the ones that hide in the shadows. But when you love yourself and get inside yourself, you can see them bright as light. All right? So stay empathic, family. I hope what we talked about tonight resonated. I just want to come back with a quick live because, like I said, we got down early today. And, local council meetings. I mean, before I get up out of it, I definitely want to mention this. So since KY mentioned council meetings, your councilmen, your congressmen, okay, your senators, okay, family, at every level, whether it's municipal, city, state, federal, right? Now, they all have collections of taxes that they get from us all the time. And whether it's a school district, okay, whether it's a corporation, all right, they all have what they call a comprehensive annual financial report. If you look into one of these companies or school districts or your city, your state government's comprehensive financial annual report, you'll see that, man, it's all a game. I mean, think about it. If you had $50 million and you was investing it, think about your return on that investment. Imagine the millions and millions of dollars that the state, city, local, municipal governments have that they're investing in. But they'll come and say, oh, well, we only have this budget. Yes, this is what they're only going to spend. That's not all the money they have. And see, this is the type of education you need to understand. So when a politician tell you, well, this is all the money we have in the budget. So, American people, we need you guys to know that we have to raise taxes. But that ain't all the money. Look at the comprehensive annual financial report, and you'll see that they have way more money in investments. School districts. And see, a lot of this information is getting out. That's why you see a lot of these school districts giving raises. Texas, Governor Abbott just signed a new education bill. And this education bill is supposed to give teachers a $4,000 to $6,000 raise this upcoming year, as well as it's supposed to eliminate the discrepancy with third graders being under scored and reading at such a low level, right? Third graders, as well as it's supposed to address high school seniors having a better path to college. Oh, man. If you want to add something to the education bill that's going to be productive and constructive for high school kids today, put vocational tech back in schools. Put nursing in school. Put auto mechanics back in school. Because we have so many kids out here that's not college bound. Okay? So imagine, putting HVAC in school. So kids, when they leave high school, now they have a trade. Okay? You don't have to be, importing people in, okay? Illegal immigrants in to do the job that our kids can do. And now you have kids that's not dropping out of school because now they're going to school with a different vigor. Because now they're not just focused on the Pythagorean theorem, or they're not just focused on metaphors and similes. You dig? They can start figuring things out that when they graduate from high school, they have a skill, they have a license. They can actually do something to be productive. So if the education bill didn't put that in there, then we're still lacking a little bit. Hey, Adi, what's going on, Adi, man? Summer's going well, man. Summer's going well. Trade is the way to go. Stephanie, what do you mean by trade? Trade, day trade, option trade, stock trading? Elaborate on that one, Stephanie. Okay? Elaborate on that for me. But I will say this, family. Money doesn't exist, all right? And so every day we taxed. Every month we're taxed. Every year we get that tax refund back, or no longer now, right? Think about that. Where is it going? Because it's not going to our children, because we got 16 million children underfed in America. But billions of dollars going overseas. 48 million adults are hungry. Okay? So pay yourself, family. Pay yourself first, family. Let's and make sure that this information is getting to the masses, all right? Because the only way we're going to actually be able to, make our nation, and when I say nation, I mean a nation of thought-provoking individuals that have a agenda of spreading knowledge to other people that don't have it. Because I promise you, I didn't have this knowledge in my 20s, and I graduated from Rice University, but I had the education, you did, but I didn't have that knowledge growing up. I wasn't exposed to the stock market, and I wasn't exposed to Wall Street. I wasn't exposed to that vernacular, right? That didn't interest me. I mean, I'm seeing that red and green on the screen, and I don't want to hear that. I want to go play basketball, you did, and so it's not an accident. See, there's a reason why they want to have classes of financial classes, 1%, of the population owns 90% of the wealth. That's not by accident, family. And so why now prepare yourself for what's about to happen, because it's going to be another transfer of wealth. Federal Reserve raising interest rates. I just told you, there's 26 companies right now that's going into an earnings call that's going to tell shareholders that due to the tariff, we're not going to meet earnings. And so you can't meet earnings, people sell. Okay? And so on that note, with all these taxes being paid and we don't own anything, that house, that car, the land, nope. Because long as we live under the guise that we are bound to be taxed, and think about this. I mean, this is so, it blows me away that the same people that put all these taxes on are the same people that allegedly defeated England, one of the most powerful countries in the world at that time, because of taxation without representation. And it was just taxes on tea. How you have 300 million people not saying anything and the way they taxing us? Okay, because the real actors and the fake actors do a great job keeping the masses dumbed down, okay, and loving buying stuff and keeping us in a chaotic nature, because through chaos they get order. See, with fear and with absurdities come atrocities. And that's why they can throw this stuff on the news, but don't care about the children, don't care about the men and women in women's shelters. Okay, and for Afro-melanated women, it's crazy because 4.4 women out of 1,000 killed or murdered. 4.4 black women, Afro-melanated women. Why is that on the news? You did? And the only reason I brought that up, Fannin, because of Miss Turner, the situation that happened out here in Baytown, where she was killed, right? But when the news came out that she wasn't pregnant, and that she had allegedly had a mental illness, all of a sudden her death was minimized. Like, oh, okay, she wasn't pregnant, she's a liar, or this now, she was crazy. That gave this guy a right to kill her? But see, I promise you, I don't care if she was blind, crippling, crazy. That could not have been a different ethnicity. See, that it'd have been more sympathy. It'd have been more empathy toward the fact, oh my gosh, you killed a woman that had mental illness. But on the flip side, okay, she had mental illness. It ain't supposed to be that way, family. And like I say, if you've been following me, you understand, there's no such thing as color. Okay, that's the mindset. See, I'm melanated. I'm Afro-melanated, yeah. Okay, but everyone has melanin in it, in their skin. We are just the Afro-melanated people. We're the people of the sun. Okay? The spiritual ones. Everyone has the spirit, but there are a certain group of people that, because it has to be, because it doesn't make sense how you have a group of people that's disenfranchised all over the world. That doesn't make sense. Okay? So it has to be something to that. And for us to be like, afraid to talk about or don't want to bring that up. I think it's a sign of Stockholm syndrome. Okay, it's not an accident that this group of people are disenfranchised. And if those who are say that's not true, then you are in denial. And there are some things about yourself and about your love that you need to be addressed, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You go in the neighborhoods. Come on now, all right. So when these numbers are when it's such a discrepancy in the numbers, when there are more Afro-melanated men in prison, more Afro-melanated women are murdered every year than others. Okay, more Afro-melanated young men are in special education. Okay, more Afro-melanated young ladies, have more abortion. That ain't by accident. Okay. And so when we talk about Biden and Sanders and these Democrats, listen, these are policies. And for people to be like, man, y'all can't, no, these are policies. Okay? So, you shoot a woman down like that, And then people, and I'm hearing people on the television, on the radio say, "Oh yeah, she lied. She wasn't pregnant." What? I mean, that's not cool. Okay, so do your research, family. Stay on top of your consciousness, and like I say, raise your chakras, and you know, may the Most High side you bring you joy. And I thank you guys for being in the garden with me tonight. I always say I'm gonna get off 20 minutes earlier than I do. I mean, because I appreciate you guys being out there. Because like I say, the most valuable asset a person has is his time. And the fact that I have you guys with me right now, I'm telling you, it's very humbling, and it keeps me going. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. All right. And once again, in the meantime, 20 time, may the Most High side bring you joy, family. And being with us out of 5,000.